Reimagining Urban Spaces for Survival, a documentary script for MRTV OPENING. Sequence visuals, aerial shots of a dense city at dawn. Concrete buildings stretch endlessly. Traffic begins to stir. A faint layer of smog hangs in the air. The call to prayer echoes softly, blending with the distant sound of horns. Cities were once built to protect us. From wild nature, from uncertainty, from each other. But somewhere along the way, our cities stopped breathing. Today, more than half of the world's population lives in urban areas. By 2050, that number will rise to nearly 70%. Cities are growing faster than ever, but not always healthier. Pollution, heat waves, floods, vanishing green spaces have turned urban life into a daily struggle for survival. This is the story of a city that chose a different path. A city that learned to breathe again. Title card, The City That Learned. To Breathe, Reimagining Urban Spaces for Survival Chapter 1. When cities choke visuals, fast-paced cuts, traffic jams, factories releasing smoke, overcrowded sidewalks, construction sites, people wearing masks, voice-over modern cities are engines of opportunity. They promise jobs, education, and progress. But this progress comes at a cost. Every year, air pollution causes millions of premature deaths worldwide. Urban heat islands raise city temperatures several degrees higher than surrounding rural areas. Natural drainage systems are replaced with concrete, turning heavy rain into deadly floods. In many cities, especially in developing countries, rapid and unplanned urbanization has pushed infrastructure beyond its limits. Trees are cut. Wetlands are filled. Rivers are encroached upon. The city begins to choke slowly, silently. Cut to interview urban environmental expert. Cities were never designed to handle this scale of population and pressure. When you remove nature from urban planning, the city loses its ability to regulate itself. Chapter 2. A turning point. Visuals. Monsoon rain flooding streets. People wading through water. News headlines flashing across the screen. Voiceover for this city. The turning point came after a series of environmental shocks, record-breaking heat waves, devastating floods, rising health crises. What was once considered normal could no longer be ignored. City planners, policymakers, activists, and ordinary citizens began asking a simple but powerful question. What if the city worked with nature instead of against it? Cut to interview city mayor planner. We realized survival was no longer optional. We had to rethink how the city lives, moves, and breathes. Chapter 3. Designing for breath. Visuals. Green rooftops. Vertical gardens on buildings. Tree-lined. Streets. Bicycle lanes. Voiceover. The first step was reclaiming green space. Abandoned rooftops were transformed into urban gardens. Concrete walls became vertical forests. Streets once designed only for cars were redesigned for people, trees, and bicycles. Green corridors now connect parks across the city, allowing air to flow and temperatures to drop. These spaces don't just beautify the city, they save lives. Studies show that urban greenery can reduce air pollution, lower stress, and improve mental health. The city was learning to inhale. Chapter 4. Water as a Friend. Visuals. Rainwater harvesting systems. Restored canals. Wetlands with birds and plants. Voiceover for decades. Rainwater was treated as a problem to be drained away as quickly as possible. But nature had a better idea. The city invested in sponge infrastructure parks, wetlands, and permeable roads that absorb water instead of rejecting it. Old canals were revived. Encroached rivers were cleared. Rainwater harvesting became mandatory for new buildings. Floodwaters that once destroyed homes are now captured, stored, and reused. The city was learning to exhale. Chapter 5. Moving without suffocating. Visuals. Electric buses, metro trains, people cycling, pedestrian zones filled with life. Voiceover. Transportation was once the city's biggest polluter. The solution wasn't more roads. It was fewer cars. Public transport systems were expanded and electrified. Walking and cycling were made safe and attractive. Car-free zones brought neighborhoods back to life. When people moved differently, the air changed. Cut to interview daily commuter. I used to spend hours stuck in traffic. Now I bike to work. I breathe better, I live better.
Chapter 6.
Communities at the heart. Visuals. Community cleanup drives. Children planting trees. Local meetings. Voice over. A city cannot breathe if its people are left behind. True. Transformation happens when citizens become caretakers of their environment. Neighborhood groups adopted parks. Schools taught climate literacy. Local innovations like rooftop farming and waste recycling turned residents into partners in survival. The city was no longer just a place to live. It became a shared responsibility. Chapter 7. Technology meets nature. Visual. Smart sensors. Data dashboards. Solar panels. Voiceover. Technology played a crucial role, but not as a replacement for nature. Air quality sensors guided tree planting. Climate data shaped building design. Solar energy powered homes and transport. Smart cities are not just digital. They are deeply ecological. Chapter 8. Lessons for the world. Visuals. Montage of other global cities. Similar initiatives worldwide. Voice over. This city is not alone. From Asia to Africa. From Europe to Latin America, cities are rediscovering an ancient truth. Human survival depends on healthy ecosystems. The solutions are not identical. The principles are universal. Design with nature. Plan for people. Think long-term. Closing. A breath of hope. Visuals. Sunset over a green city skyline. Children playing. Birds flying. Voice over. The city that learned to breathe did not become perfect, but it became resilient. In an age of climate uncertainty, cities will decide our future. They can either suffocate under their own way, or learn to breathe again. The choice is ours.